Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. Today we're looking at this totally rad double-sized Avengers annual number 14 from the 80s. It is so cool. Roger Stern wrote it. John Byrne did the layouts. Kyle Baker, the amazing cartoonist, did the finishes. Such a rare, random combination. It looks amazing. Cannot wait to share it with you. This amazing Carrie Gamil cover. Inked by Kyle Baker. So that is what we are looking at today. Double size annual Avengers 14. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button and let's get right into it. Guest starring the Fantastic Four. Look at the action on this cover. I love this cover when it came out. There were similar annuals at the time. I believe it was like Fantastic Four and I don't know who else was involved. But they all had sort of like this white border that made it look like a panel from inside the comic, which I low-key love. And it is so fun. I feel like they were crossing over and tying over. This was such a great period for the Avengers and the Fantastic Four. As you can see, She-Hulk and the Fantastic Four. I love that era. Fifth column, I instantly recognized the beautiful John Workman lettering. I feel like I may have not I may have missed the boat on this a first time around. I don't know if I was like, especially in 1985, this is very early in my comic collecting career, so I'm very young, not really savvy enough to like know to get all the annuals and stuff, but of course I'm like collecting everything I can get. And had I known John Byrne was part of this, I'm 100% sure I would have bought it, but I don't know how I missed it. Roger Stern, writer. John Byrne, breakdowns. Kyle Baker, finishes. John Workman, letterer. One of my absolute favorite letterers. Loved his lettering. Christy Shield, colorist. A great colorist. Mark Grunwald, editor. And Jim Shooter is still at the helm of the Marvel ship. So you can see all the scroll action going on. Obviously, I don't know, to the untrained eye, you probably wouldn't immediately pick this out as John Byrne art. But as we go through this, you will see a lot of signature John Byrne things. Because they are just breakdowns, which means that John is just doing like very loose layouts. Admittedly, his breakdowns are probably a lot more finished than most people's, but he's not necessarily putting in backgrounds. He's not spotting the blacks. He's not filling them in. He's not doing any like shadowing or anything. So mainly just like figures and composition and storytelling things. But it's Byrne all over the place. And who knew Kyle Baker would be such a flattering fit? I'm really digging the combination here. I think it looks great. You know, when I look at certain panels like this, I almost feel like I have a little bit of a Tom Palmer kind of finish happening, which isn't a bad thing either. And this, there are so many great examples of this. I really, like, there's some controversy in the past. I guess not really controversy. I mean, it's human nature and part of the business, you know. John Byrne was dissatisfied with the way he was inked at certain times, specifically his faces and a couple of different inkers. No need to mention any names. But, you know, it's like, obviously, this is very collaborative. Art is personal. And you're going to, you know, either love it or hate it, I guess. You know, I'm sure there were inkers that he absolutely adored. I think he loved working with like Tom Palmer and Joe Sinnott and anyone who worked with like his heroes. But like then you get these great faces in here, like the Star Fox. This is like, looking back on it, this is the most ridiculous lineup of the Avengers. Black Knight, Hercules, Star Fox, Wasp, Captain Marvel. I mean, it's pretty random, right? And like, I don't know, they just kind of don't make sense because they are all sort of in the same wheelhouse in a weird way, even though they're not. I don't know. But then back to the art, I'm wondering like how John Byrne felt about Kyle Baker's inks, and I feel like he would have liked them because I think they look fantastic, very flattering. I love the way he handles some of John's hatching and some of this, because I mean it's his hatching, but you know, he's rendering it. And obviously, this is such a John Byrne Captain America there. So I just kind of love seeing this artistic marriage of Kyle Baker and, what do you call it, John Byrne? I mean, John Byrne is such a classic traditional comic book artist. You know, he doesn't really go much outside of his box. He gets a little artsy here and there and is an amazing artist, of course. But I feel like Kyle Baker, like, is sort of, you know, we got, like, The Shadow with him. We got Plastic Man. We got I Die Midnight. Just all these great, like, Superman's nanny, babysitter, Letitia Lerner. I mean, just so many great examples of really beautiful, like graphic, amazing cartooning from Kyle Baker, nonetheless. But, you know, he can do stuff like this too. And I just think this is such a fun footnote. I kind of love annuals for this reason. You know, I'm guessing back in the day, maybe they had a bigger lead time. I don't know. But maybe, you know, Kyle Baker was given time to do something like this rather than a monthly book. You know, he's a penciler and an artist himself, so I feel like he was coming in here and there and inking other people. But he's mostly his own artist, I feel. So I feel like this is fun. This is kind of fun too, and wackadoodle. So they're like in this scroll, like war thing going on, and they encounter this faction of, I think these are Skrulls, forgive me, but this like branch of aliens who are beholden to 1930s or whatever, like World War One. Like they're like reverse engineering. This is just as a lover of like UFOs and like alien you know, intrigue and stuff like that, and just philosophies. I won't use this C word, but you know, I just thought this was so genius in a way, because I always, you know, we always wonder if the government like found a crashed alien ship and, you know, was able to re-engineer it and gain their technology. So it's kind of funny to see like an alien race using our technology from World War One and like a Zeppelin and biplanes. I mean, only Roger Stern and John Byrne could come up with something like that, in my opinion. I think it's amazing. I love it. A lot of good art happening. And like I said, like, you know, it's very, like, once again, like, if I just handed this to anybody, I don't know that you would pick out John Byrne, per se, but I recognize certain, like, body language. He's done this. I mean, that is his signature Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau right there. So, definitely. I love this, The Lounge Singer. I mean, there's like, this is actually like such a really cool story, like that this would exist. Like, you know, they act like gangsters and stuff just because they're sort of like emulating that era of American life, I guess. Great panel here. I don't know, like, obviously, like I said, like, ridiculous now, but at the time, loved this lineup so much. I mean, Hercules, give me a break. I mean, just their costumes, they just look so freaking ridiculous. It's like the worst Halloween costume party ever or something, and it's still the most amazing lineup, and I just think it's kind of funny. It's funny that way, ain't it? And Kyle Baker, like, gave Till It Hurts on this issue. I really have to give him props and credits for that. I love that. And once again, I'm, of course, seeing Byrne layouts all over the place here. So John Byrne is definitely alive and present in these pages. I mean, that's a Byrne face right there. That's a Byrne cap. I mean, you know. If you know, you know. Kind of interesting, you know, it's like I used to not like these types of books as much where Byrne is like doing breakdowns and then having a heavy-handed finisher, because I felt like a lot of him gets lost in it. But now it's kind of a fun experiment to go back in time and look at it and try to find the Byrne into it rather than lose him. Do you know what I mean? You know you come here for the artistic philosophy genius of Michael Fitzgerald Troy. I mean, so much fun. And, like, you know, I've said it before and I'll say it again. They totally dropped the ball. Marvel had the best Captain Marvel and Monica Rambeau, and they decided to make the movie about Carol Danvers, even though everybody's bitching about nothing but, I mean, a blonde white woman when you have, like, I mean, I love Carol Danvers. Not who she is now, what she was supposed to be and who she was in the beginning. But Monica Rambeau, heart, soul, character, costume is just a far superior character. Afro and all, ladies and gentlemen. And that's my opinion for what it's worth. Is it worth a like? Is it worth a follow? Is it worth a subscription? I don't know. Is it worth She-Hulk busting through the hull of the ship at the last minute? Heads up, everybody. It's the She-Hulk. And that is, you know, I feel like sometimes this is why Marvel has the edge. I mean, it's just panels like that just make me so happy. I love that so much. I love this too, Hercules. Forsooth, it's an impenetrable barrier I cannot see that has been proven time and time again, yet I must show that I can't do it either. Or something. And she's like, yeah, that was just me. Stay away, Hercules, and like put on a shirt or something. That harness was looking kind of creepy. Speaking of creepy, I love that too. Like, that's always like the fun thing about comic books. Like, I live for the little sight gags and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just like the storytellers having fun. Of course he's going to shake Captain America's hand from 10 feet across the room. Why wouldn't he? He's Mr. Fantastic. Is it all just a pissing contest? Like, should he not just throw a shield just to show it'll come back at that point? I mean, like, that's kind of funny. Are they all just like a bunch of bragging little boys? In a way. But who's the audience? You know, they're serving it up for us, and we are living for it. So that is why comic books from this era are and always will be the best comics era ever. Look at that panel. So cool. And once again, you know what I'm going to say because I haven't said it yet. And this is the perfect page to say it on. I would absolutely love to see this in, you know, an artist edition. Or at least a better printing. This coloring is not doing this as much justice as I feel. I feel like this art is beautiful and probably so much more beautiful. Like, if you held like one of the original pages, you would probably like keel over dead. Love it. Love all this. This is so great. Another Byrne hidden gem, you guys. You know I always find them for you. I saw this posted online and like couldn't believe that I don't think I had it. And the situation has been rectified. This book is beautiful. It is amazing. It is mighty. Assemble. Double-sized annual, The Avengers, number 14. 1985. Such a gorgeous book. Roger Stern, John Byrne, and Kyle Baker. Guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button. I'll bring you more later.